Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Conversations with Stories. And we have with us today the author of Meditation for New Moms. When Shannon Lesley's daughter was born, she had a severe postpartum depression. And with that, she thought of having or of taking her own life and even getting rid of her baby. But good thing she was able to meet a therapist who introduced her to the world of meditation. And now she has a book and a story to share with every one of us. So, Shannon, how are you doing today?
Good. Thank you so much for having me here.
Okay, so earlier we did a little bit of a teaser of how you found your way to writing the book, but I would like to ask what really inspired you to write and when did you start writing?
When I started writing actually was as a young child. I struggled with reading. I was really slow to learn how to read. Growing up in the 80s, we didn't know about so many learning disabilities, but if I was in school today, most likely I would have had like a visual processing disorder or something. I struggled with reading, but I loved stories. And so I loved listening to stories. I just couldn't read them. And I loved writing. Whatever it was that made me struggle with reading did not translate to writing, and I wrote stories all the time. So I really started writing as at a young age, but I didn't make a career out of it or anything. And then fast forward, after I struggled with my daughter, and now she's a teenager and doing great. We're both doing great. I kind of just I have some extra time now because she's my youngest and she's a teenager and not spending as much time with me, and I was just kind of trying to think of ways that I can put something good into the world. And I thought, I know how to write, and these days the world has made self-publishing so much easier. um,
Mhm.
could I put some good into the world that way? And that was my inspiration. So would you like me to tell you about what I went through when she was born?
Yeah, your journey like to finally
Yeah, so
writing again.
so when she was born, I had severe postpartum depression. It was also complicated with grief. So my mom had breast cancer, and we knew that she was dying, and there was a race. Would my daughter be born before my mom died? And I was in California, my mom was in Texas, so we were 2,000 miles apart. I really was hoping my daughter would be born so then I could hop on a plane and go be with her for her death, really. And it didn't work out that way. My daughter was 2 weeks late. And so my mom died on a Monday, and my daughter was born the following Friday. So I was a big ball of grief and giving birth. And then like every mom, there was some physical trauma during birth. Birth never goes the way that you hope it will. So I was also uncomfortable, um, and all that wrapped up. I just was a mess. I was such a mess, and I wasn't myself. Um, I I never understood depression until I experienced it myself. And I've heard people say it's like you're not even there. And that really is just the best way that I can describe it. It's like there was this shadow of me walking around, and I wasn't even present. I was somewhere trailing behind the shadow. Um, and so I seeked a therapist, and I got a doctor's help right away. And I was very lucky that I got a very talented therapist who's very good at her job. And one of the things that she did for me was, she said, if I record a meditation for you, will you listen to it while you're breastfeeding? I had never meditated before, but she was like, don't worry, you just have to listen to it. And I was like, okay. So I did it. And every time I nursed, which I had been struggling with nursing, so this time that had been stressful for me because my baby was having a hard time latching and I wasn't producing enough milk. So it turned this moment that was stressful for me into a moment that became relaxing for me because I was listening to this meditation. And I just became addicted to that meditation. I only had the one. So this whole time I only listened to the one meditation over and over and over. And it was like a walk in a place in nature. And so I always walked in the same place. Um, and it kind of really quickly made everything okay. And then after a few more days and weeks of it, I actually, I want to say it wasn't even more than a week that the suicidal thoughts stopped, because I really had been considering suicide, and not only that, but having really scary thoughts of wanting to get rid of my baby, not hurt her, but just make her go somewhere else. Um, and so, uh, and so after a few days of listening to this meditation, those thoughts went away. I was still very depressed, but I wasn't having the scary thoughts anymore. And I kept listening to it and kept listening to it. And after about a month or two, like, I came back. I was still sad, but I was back and I could be a mom, which was really the goal. I wanted to be a mom. That's why I had a baby, you know. And then I continued listening to it. And a couple months later, the postpartum depression receded and I got to be my normal self again. But I really believe that
Wow.
meditation is what got me through that time period. And because it was so useful as a tool for me, I wanted to give it, give it as a gift, as a tool to other moms. And that's why I wrote the book.
Wow, amazing. So like after, of course, you've experienced that, right? And when your baby was still young, and then you mentioned that, now that she's a teenager, that's the time that you decided to write the book and really share it to the moms out there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
the kind of, like as writers, we should be able to like make a change in the world. Not really totally change, but at least we contribute something to the society, right?
Yeah. That
So,
was kind of the goal. Yeah. Um,
yeah,
you know,
amazing. So, mhm.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So I'm just curious, how long did it take you to finish the whole book?
About 3 months. It's not, you can see it's not very long. It fits in a diaper bag. It has 6 meditations in it. Um, each meditation is a just over 10,000 words, like 10 to 12,000 words. So it's not, some writers write these big long novels. It's not one of those. It was kind of a quick book. And uh my daughter now goes to dance, and I have to sit there and wait for hours at a time. And so it was a great time for me to, you know, make a book happen.
Wow. What while waiting for your daughter to complete
Yeah.
her dance practices.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so what are your future plans apart from that book? Do you intend to write other books to inspire mothers out there?
Yeah, it's funny that you asked that because I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I was thinking that I would do more meditation books, and that I might do a meditation book for like helping young kids get to sleep. Um, but my daughter, the same daughter we've been talking about, she encouraged me to open a TikTok account. And I've been doing that and just kind of giving like general parenting advice, because I've raised 3 kids. They were all very different. And I feel like there is some wisdom that comes from experience that I have to share. And so I've been having a lot of fun with that. And so lately I've been thinking, maybe I don't want to do another meditation book, but maybe I want to do like a parenting book really focused on like behaviors, and almost have it be like, when this behavior happens, here are some ways that you can correct it. When this behavior happens, so you wouldn't even have to read the book cover to cover, but jump around to, oh my gosh, my kid told a lie. You skip ahead to the lying chapter. So we'll see, maybe. But
Wow, so much.
I'm definitely inspired by moms, and that's kind of the community that I would like to give back to. So whatever it will be for that audience.
Mm, amazing. And it's like, Shannon, I hope you won't get sad, but if for sure, if your mom would be listening, she would also be very happy because I know you would be writing not only from your experience as a mom, but also your experience with your mom when you
Yeah.
were still growing up, right? The love
Yeah.
there and all. Okay. What
Thank you
what
for
are
saying that.
your writing tips for those who would like to start writing, especially for moms like
Um,
you?
I think the hardest part is like putting your fingers on the keyboard. So like or just deciding to start, even if you've already started the book, deciding to start this writing session. So my tip would be, like, open your computer and just start typing something. You can always go back and delete it later, but most likely if you just force yourself to start typing, it's going to start flowing. But it's too easy to be like, oh, I have these forms I have to fill out for school. Oh, I should make dinner, go grocery shopping. Just schedule a time. Like for me, it was my daughter's dance class. That is the time I have to type, or if you write by hand. So just force yourself to start doing it.
Yeah, that's right. If you start doing it, then eventually it will come to
Yeah,
fruition. Correct.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I have not so controversial, but just a curious question, Shannon. Because AI, artificial intelligence, has been the buzz now for some of the writers, and some are actually scared about it, some are happy. But I'd like to ask, what's your stand or thoughts about AI and writing?
So I'm so glad you asked this. I am so fascinated by AI. I feel like it's when the internet came on the scene and we were all just kind of like, okay, we have this cool new tool, but like, what are we going to do with it? Right. And I feel like that's where we are with AI right now. I have been playing with it a lot. Like I said, I started a TikTok, and so I've kind of been using it for TikTok ideas. Sometimes I've been using it for marketing ideas. Like, I'll put in like, I don't feel like a salesperson. I feel like a writer, but not a salesperson. So I've been putting some things in to see what kind of sales language it will give back to me when I am trying to create ads for the book or something. And I'll pick little pieces. Like it came back with this phrase, find some calm amidst the chaos of motherhood. And I was like, that's a pretty nice phrase. I'm going to use that. The rest of it I threw away. I don't think I would use it to write a book. I don't think that, well, in my experience, I don't think it would be capable of writing a book. It's just not as good as we're giving it credit for. But it is good for brainstorming ideas. And so in the case, even for example, this book that I'm thinking about doing, where it would be each chapter would be addressing different behaviors in kids, I could be able to use AI and be like, what are some naughty behaviors that kids have, or list 30 naughty behaviors kids have. And that could be a place for me to go, oh yeah, that's something I could write a chapter about. I wouldn't trust it to give parenting advice, although maybe it could. But at least it could help get the ball rolling sometimes. So, and it's been, like I said, it's been useful on TikTok, especially when I first got started. I was like, give me some TikTok ideas. Like, I'm really old and this is a young audience. I don't know what to do here. Like, what can I make videos about? And it gave me some really good ideas. So I think
Yeah,
it's a good place
I
for if you're
agree
stuck.
with you. Yeah, I agree with you that it could be a good tool for brainstorming, and I'm actually excited to catch you on TikTok as well. So later I'm gonna go check out your account. Okay.
It's at Shannon Lesley Books is my
Okay.
TikTok.
We will visit that, and we will place the links on the description uh, box of this YouTube video as well. Before we end, Shannon, do you have any other message that you wish to share to our audience?
Well, I want to thank you for having me here and making it time work, because the time difference is so big. And to the rest of the audience, thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great day.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Shannon, and I really appreciate opening up to us and sharing your life story. It's always good to know that our experiences can actually help us in releasing our own books in the future someday. So thank you again, Shannon, and thank you to everyone who have watched this video. Don't forget to subscribe and also follow. Shannon will be placing all her social media accounts. And to all the mothers out there, embrace motherhood with joy and full of energy.